Hi everybody, my name is James Downey and I'm a nutritionist at CP Feeds. Thanks for tuning into this podcast. Today I want to talk to you about evaluating your alfalfa fields. And I'm very lucky at CP Feeds to be part of a team of nutritionists all over Northeast Wisconsin. And we talk in between each other and give each other ideas and an update on what is going on in that person's area. And we're in a very unique situation here in all of Northeast Wisconsin. We're pretty short on forage on most farms, and we've had a tough last year harvesting. And certainly we've had some winter kill and maybe even some spring kill or cold injury this spring that's affecting our fields. The one thing to keep in mind in these unprecedented times is we're all in this together. So I really urge you to keep your head up and stay positive. And it's really important to make a plan and make a decision, because no plan is still a decision, and you want to be able to move forward and try to do your best for 2020. I'm here in a field that I rent, and I run this field, and we summer seeded direct seed alfalfa last year, end of August, and as you all know, we had a very tough fall and a tough winter, cold spring. This field looked decent at least last August and last fall before it went dormant, and even this spring it looked a little better than it does now. You can see there's a lot of dead spots, and we made the decision 15 days ago. A custom cropper came in and no-tilled in some alfalfa seed. You may have a field like this on your farm. And even going back 2 weeks ago, I think that a lot of alfalfa fields look better than they do today. And we all know that we're in a cold snap right now this week, so I really encourage you to evaluate your fields again coming up in a week or two to make sure that what you think is good and ready to harvest is actually ready to harvest and it's going to produce some high quality forage for you. We're not agronomists, but we work very closely with your on-farm team to make sure that we have a plan for 2020 forage needs. So I wanted to go through a quick checklist of what you can do here and now to make a plan. First off, as I mentioned, make sure you evaluate your fields and do so again. Then you can decide if you can keep that field for production and harvest that feed, or if we need to make it into something else and rotate that field out. Recommendations from UW-Madison say that we need 55 harvestable stems in a square foot area of your alfalfa field with a nice healthy taproot to make sure to keep that field in production. And we know that there's a lot of different scenarios on farm with forage inventory, so maybe you might try to keep some of those fields in production that aren't going to be as productive as other years, but it's really a case-by-case basis. Second step on that is to make sure that your whole farm team is on the same page, so you can make a decision and move forward. Let's say you can harvest that field. This year we have a very unique situation with maybe some farms have to cut milk production, or they don't have to push for that high milk, and maybe this is the year that you can look at harvesting 3 cuttings instead of 4 cuttings and trying to increase your forage inventory on the farm. We've all seen the graph where as yield goes up, quality goes down, and so we can maybe try to maximize yield this year and maybe take a little hit on quality if you're one of the farms that has to cut production. Again, this is so farm specific, so make sure to meet with your farm team and make sure to figure out what the best route is. Let's say that field is dead and you have to transition it out. I think we have a couple options. If this is a first year, let's say we would rip this field up. This very field is a new seeding field. There's no autotoxicity yet, so we could in theory plant peas and oats and underseed with alfalfa again here this spring and hopefully get a better crop. If I think it's still early enough here, it's the first part of May, it's nice and cool yet, so I think it gives us a good chance to get some hay fields established for the long haul. Let's say you're looking at alternative forages. I think a lot of those you have to wait till it gets a little bit warmer, so those can go in down the road. Certainly silage is a very good forage, high yield, a lot of dry matter per acre, but then of course you have to wait until you have that forage in the fall when you harvest it. I think it's really important in 2020 to make sure you have enough heifer feed on hand. We need to make sure that those heifers are growing well and growing nice and tall, but not getting too heavy on us. So make sure when you have your rotation figured out, you have a plan for good heifer feed. Whether that's peas and oats here in the first crop, underseeded with hay, or if that's an alternative forage, or maybe even a low starch or tropical corn silage in the fall. Just make sure you have a plan. So in these unprecedented times, I hope you can remain positive and make a plan. That's very important to move forward. Make sure to evaluate your fields. Make sure to touch base with your on-farm team and then follow the plan for the rest of the year. If you have any questions on any of this, please reach out to your CP Feeds nutritionist. Thank you very much.